Welcome back everyone. The Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus has been out for about 6 months now, so let's go ahead and take a look at it, see if it's still worth it. Obviously it's still worth it. If you want to pick it up, links are down in the description. You can get them from there, help support the channel at the same time. Now with the S21 Plus, not a crazy amount has changed, but I will tell you this phone is fairly underrated. I think a lot of people are focused more either on the S21 or on the S21 Ultra, but the S21 Plus has so much capability, and it really is the proper successor to the Galaxy S20. This phone obviously had that, I'll be honest, it had that 1080p panel on the front, which was a downgrade from its predecessor, but at least it had glass on the back, which I think was the better thing, and it was a frosted back. One of my biggest downsides of the S20 in general, the whole entire lineup, was how ugly the back was on all their phones. The S21 lineup really fixed it, although the S21 had, plastic back, and this one had glass back, which looked better. The panel of it still looks good, 6.7 inch 1080p panel, 120 Hz, and it's a very good looking display still. I'm not a huge, I don't really care if it's not Quad HD, but it would have been so cool, and I don't like seeing a downgrade like that, but I'm still a huge fan of how this specific phone holds up, and I really don't mind it, to be honest. Hole punch display on the front, USB Type-C, no microSD card slot, which is the dumbest thing Samsung did. I don't know why they did that. Again, there's nothing we can do about it, but that was a very annoying thing. And that glass back with that triple camera setup. And here's the thing, this camera is so good, you can pretty much it's gonna last you forever. It is a very good camera, 12 megapixel wide, 64 megapixel telephoto, then 12 megapixel ultra wide. And this is by far still one of the best cameras out there. I really don't think there's been a camera that has topped this specific device yet. A 10 megapixel front facing camera as well, which you have 4K at 60 on that phone. And like I mentioned, you can pick up this phone today, next year, or the year after, and still have a very good camera. And in my opinion, I just have this feeling that cameras aren't really going to improve that much from this phone, to be honest, for at least the next while. So this is by far still a very good phone to pick up without a doubt. Now on top of this, kind of moving on from there, this specific phone's battery life has been very good as well. It has a 4,800 mAh battery, which is crazy big. And like I mentioned, having a battery like this, even if it degrades a little bit over time, dude, you are going to be set forever. The battery life on this thing is beautiful, and you're going to be set for a very, very long time. So without a doubt, that is one of my favorite things about this phone. But one of my least favorite things about this phone is probably the software, I am not a huge fan of this software. If this thing just had a little bit more of a stock version of software, that could have made this phone perfect in so many different ways. Unfortunately, it doesn't, so there's nothing we can do about it there. But I think it's still a very good phone overall. It's just the software is very limiting in my opinion. Performance-wise though, this thing is not that much slower than when it first came out. Qualcomm Snapdragon 888, octa-core CPU, Adreno 660 GPU, 8 gigs of RAM on pretty much all the models. And since this phone's been released, and even now up until this day, there's been very few complaints about the performance of this phone. There's been complaints about some other things, like I mentioned, the software, sometimes overheating, this and that, and the microSD card slot, to be honest, but not that many people have been complaining about the performance, and that's the main thing to keep in mind. When you get this phone, you're not going to be at a disadvantage in terms of a performance standpoint, and that is without a doubt the biggest thing to kind of keep in mind about this phone. And I truly do think, to kind of sum up this video, this phone is still completely worth it, and it may be even more worth it now than when it first came out. It's gone down in price a little bit in the used market, and it's a beautiful phone. I don't know if I'm saying this right, but this thing apparently on Amazon is selling for $650. And if that ends up being the case, dude, this is a very good priced phone. I have to double check this, but that is a very cheap price, and that is true. You can pick up these things for less. These things have depreciated so much, I don't know why. These are crazy good phones, and I would totally recommend you guys to pick it up for sure, especially at that price tag. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.